Namaskar. We continue with our topic of biopsychology, and today we are going to discuss holistic health, then psychic pabulum, and apexed intellect. So we will try to understand how these three things, the holistic health concept and our mental occupations or psychic pabulum, and the ultimate goal of life, the apexed intellect or apexed mind, how these are interrelated and how they can bring bliss in our life and get rid of the problems that we are constantly facing. Now, the concept of holistic health. Now, we all know that we have different pathies prevalent in the country, in all over the world. And और ये सब जो तरह तरह की मेडिकल व्यवस्था है बीमारी को दूर करने के लिए, वो उसको अगर हम स्टडी करें तो then we find that we can segregate them into three categories. One category is allopathy, Ayurvedic, Hakimi, and all these similar kinds of medicinal systems, जिनमें किसी भी डिजीज़ को समझने के लिए उस डिजीज़ के सिम्टम्स को देखकर और जो क्रूड और सिंथेटिक मेडिसिन्स का प्रयोग करके बीमारी को दूर करने की चेष्टा की जाती है। अब ये बीमारी शरीर की भी हो सकती है, मन की भी हो सकती है। अभी तक अधिकतर विचार यही रहा है कि हम जब बीमारी की बात करते हैं तो उस शरीर की बीमारी से ही संबंधित होता है। अभी तक हम लोगों के मन में इतना ढंग से ये विचार नहीं आया कि बीमारी का मन के साथ रिलेशन क्या है और सचमुच में क्या बीमारी केवल मन में ही पैदा होती है और शरीर में उसका प्रभाव हमें प्रकट होता है। अच्छा, तो अभी जब होलिस्टिक हेल्थ की बात कर रहे हैं तो हमने देखा कि एक तो ग्रुप हो गया ये जो पॉइजन की तरह से मेडिसिन को ट्रीट करता है, जिसमें सर्जरी भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है। सर्जरी इज़ वेरी वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ एलोपैथी एज वेल एज आयुर्वेदा। एंड second category comes is the homeopathy. Now the homeopathy concept is that here it is the mind of the person. It is the individual who is treated. Individual's reactions to different situations, to the disease, how he is reacting. So it is the study of the psychic pabula of the mind of the person. आदमी का जो सोच है, आदमी का जो रिस्पॉन्स है डिजीज को लेकर, और उसकी पूरा जो स्ट्रक्चर है, पूरे शरीर का जो मानसिक स्ट्रक्चर है, उसको लेकर होम्योपैथी की व्यवस्था है। तो होम्योपैथी इस दृष्टि से एक एडवांस सिस्टम है। होम्योपैथी में अभी तक हम लोग नहीं देखते हैं कि सर्जरी इंक्लूड हुई है, बट ऑफ लेट होम्योपैथी में भी सर्जरी को इंक्लूड कर लिया गया, एंड विच इज़ ए वेरी वेलकम डेवलपमेंट। तीसरी व्यवस्था जो हम लोग देखते हैं मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट की, वो है नेचुरोपैथी। नेचुरोपैथी में नेचर के माध्यम से ये कंसेप्ट है कि जो अगर कोई डिजीज होती है तो उसको आदमी की अपनी इनेट कैपेबिलिटी के द्वारा उसको हम लोग उस बीमारी को दूर कर सकते हैं, और उसके लिए हमें नेचुरल तरीके, मतलब एयर, वाटर, लाइट, हीट, इस सब का प्रयोग करके, मड का प्रयोग करके हम लोग इन सब चीज़ों का जो नेचुरली अवेलेबल चीज़ें हैं उनका प्रयोग करके हम लोग बीमारी को दूर कर सकते हैं। इस नेचुरोपैथी के साथ में यौगिक सिस्टम भी जोड़ दिया जाता है। मतलब किस तरह से अलग अलग शरीर की जो रोग हैं उन पर आसन का क्या प्रभाव है, प्राणायाम का क्या प्रभाव है, मुद्राओं का क्या प्रभाव है, बंध का क्या प्रभाव है, वेद का क्या प्रभाव है, जो अलग अलग सिस्टम हैं उनको भी जोड़कर भी इसको एक कंप्लीट सिस्टम बनाने की चेष्टा की जाती है। और अपने आप में ये बहुत ही सुंदर और फूल प्रूफ सिस्टम है, लेकिन चूंकि इसमें थोड़ा समय लग सकता है और इसकी व्यवस्था उतनी पक्की अभी समाज में हमारी मेडिकल सिस्टम में नहीं हो पाई है, इसलिए जब तक ऐसा नहीं हो जाता है तब तक के लिए, हालांकि ये बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था है, बहुत अच्छा सिस्टम है, लेकिन इसका प्रयोग जनसाधारण के लिए अवेलेबल नहीं हो पा रहा है। तो ये तो हो गई तीसरी बात। तो इस प्रकार हम देखते हैं कि ये 3 तरह की पैथी से आदमी अपने जीवन को स्वस्थ कर सकता है। लेकिन आज जो हम लोग जिस होलिस्टिक मेडिसिन, होलिस्टिक हेल्थ की बात कर रहे हैं, वो इन तीनों से ऊपर उठकर है। और वो क्या है? वो जो है, वो जो बात हम जो करने वाले हैं, वो होलिस्टिक सिस्टम की बात समझने के लिए हम एक छोटी सी कहानी से स्टार्ट करते हैं। एक छोटी कहानी है। एक आदमी हैं, अमेरिकन वेल नोन राइटर थे, प्राइज विनिंग राइटर थे, नॉर्मन कजिन। नॉर्मन कजिन्स को एक बहुत ही ज़्यादा, जिसे हम लोग क्रिपलिंग डिजीज़ कहते हैं, वो उनके स्पॉन्डिलाइटिस की क्रिपलिंग डिजीज़ थी। उनका जबड़ा बंद रहता था, हाँ, उनके हाथ पैर क्रिपल्ड थे, कुछ काम नहीं कर सकते थे। उनका जो स्पाइनल कॉर्ड है वो इतना रिजिड हो गया था, इतना ज़्यादा स्टिफ हो गया था कि कोई उनका शरीर का कोई मूवमेंट नहीं हो पाता था। एंड डॉक्टर्स ने कहा कि भाई 1 in 500 इनके रिकवरी के चांस हैं, इनके बचने की संभावना तो बहुत कम है। तो ही वॉज प्रिपेयर्ड टू डाई, ही लेफ्ट हिमसेल्फ एंड ही वॉज प्रिपेयर्ड टू डाई। बट suddenly, because of some acquaintance, some friend who came and visited him and presented him a book about power of positive thinking, तो उनको जब वो किताब मिली तो वो बड़ा इम्प्रेस्ड हुए उस किताब को पढ़ के, पावर ऑफ पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग की। और परिणाम स्वरूप उन्हें क्या हुआ कि उन्होंने देखा कि उसके कारण उनके शरीर में भी कुछ पॉजिटिव चेंजेस आ रहे हैं। अब उन्होंने क्या किया कि उन्होंने ये सोचना चालू किया कि अभी तक तो मैं ये सोचता था कि मैं क्रिपल्ड हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता हूँ, मेरे हाथ पैर चलते नहीं हैं, मेरी उंगलियाँ चलती नहीं हैं, मैं लिख सकता नहीं हूँ, पढ़ सकता नहीं हूँ, बॉडी को मूवमेंट करना ही मेरे लिए मुश्किल है। तो अब उन्होंने सोचा कि नहीं, अब मुझे सोचना है कि कैसे मैं ठीक हो सकता हूँ। अभी तक मैं क्रिपल्ड हूँ ऐसा ही सोच के मैं मरने के लिए तैयार था, लेकिन अब मैं सोचना चाहता हूँ कि कैसे मैं जी सकता हूँ। तो जीने की विचार एक पॉजिटिव माइंड में उनके जनरेट हुआ और उन्होंने साथ ही साथ बहुत सारी जोक्स की और किताबें खरीद ली, ऐसी किताबें जो कि जिससे कि उनको पढ़ने में अच्छा लगता था। और अपनी जो अटेंडेंट थी, नर्स अटेंडेंट को उन्होंने कहा कि वो रोज़ हमें 3-3, 4-4 घंटे तक पढ़कर सुनाए। तो वो पढ़ के जो जोक्स को सुनने लगे तो बड़ा उनको मज़ा आने लगा और खूब ज़ोर ज़ोर से हंसने लगे। अचानक वो हंसने का परिणाम कुछ दिनों में ये हुआ कि उनका शरीर का जो मूवमेंट एकदम बंद था, वो शरीर का मूवमेंट चालू हो गया। उनको नींद नहीं आती थी, तो उन्होंने देखा कि 2 घंटे अगर इसको अच्छी तरह से 3 घंटे अगर हम ये सुन लेते हैं तो उनको नींद आ जाती है अच्छी, दर्द नहीं रहता है। दिस वॉज क्वाइट सरप्राइजिंग। उनको अपने ही एक सरप्राइजिंग चेंजेस लगने लगे। परिणाम ये हुआ कि उन्होंने विचार किया कि ये मुझे कंटिन्यू करना चाहिए। और उस कंटिन्यूअस पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग का परिणाम ये हुआ कि कुछ ही दिनों में उनका शरीर जो है एकदम बीमारी से मुक्त हो गया। ना ऐसा कैसे हुआ, डॉक्टर्स इस बात को समझ नहीं पाते थे, लेकिन धीरे धीरे उनके हाथ के मूवमेंट आ गए और उन्होंने लिखना चालू कर दिया। एंड फाइनली ही रोट ए प्राइज विनिंग बुक, एनाटॉमी ऑफ इलनेस। ये जो किताब है इसमें वो बताते हैं कि किस प्रकार आदमी जो है बीमार पड़ता है और मरने का इंतजार करता है। जिस प्रकार की क्रिपलिंग डिजीज उनको थी, उस तरह के आदमी नॉर्मली मरने के सिवाय कुछ नहीं सोच सकते हैं। तो उनके लिए ये बड़ी अचंभे की बात थी उनके लिए भी, और डॉक्टर्स तो आज तक नहीं समझ पाए कि कैसे वो आदमी स्वस्थ हो गया। तो ये जो इंटरैक्शन है, माइंड बॉडी इंटरैक्शन, ये हमारे होलिस्टिक हेल्थ का फंडामेंटल पॉइंट है। और जैसा कि हम लोग जानते हैं, धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे समाज में ये ज्ञान बढ़ रहा है, तो मेडिकल साइंस में भी इसको लेकर खूब रिसर्च हो रहा है। और मेडिकल साइंस में अब एक नई टर्मिनोलॉजी हम लोगों की जानकारी में आ रही है, उसे कहते हैं PNI, माने साइको न्यूरो इम्यूनोलॉजी। ये जो साइको न्यूरो इम्यूनोलॉजी की साइंस है, इस पर बहुत रिसर्च हो रहा है। वो क्या है? ये साइंस बताती है कि माइंड स्पीक्स टू द बॉडी एंड बॉडीज रिएक्शन इज रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द माइंड। So the mind body talks to each other, they communicate to each other. That means our central nervous system, our brain's fundamental point, brain's central nervous system talks to the immune cells, immune system of our body. And what is central nervous system? Central nervous system is consisting of our neurons, the brain neurons, and the nerve cells of the spinal cord. These two together speak to the immune system. And where does the immune system exist? It is in many of our organs. The primary control of immune system is in the thymus gland, in the heart chakra, in the Ananda chakra. Now we'll come to that later, but then we understand that basically the immune system and the mind together communicate to each other. And what is the result of this communication? The result of this communication is this, that when we are stressed, our body releases cytokines. These are small molecules of proteins which are released by the immune system. And when we are stressed, then these cytokines, these negative cytokines, are actually protein molecules which actually produce pro-inflammatory cytokines. So, but then the cytokines are of two varieties, cytokines and as well as the negative cytokines. As we know that our limbic system in our brain, you see, our brain consists of certain fundamental things. The brain has got what we call hypothalamus, it has got the limbic system and cerebral cortex. So the limbic system, which is actually a feeling brain, is our inner brain. Now this limbic system has many compartments, many things, many structures within the limbic system. One of them is amygdala. The amygdala is one system which, when gets activated, then it releases angiogenic hormones like epinephrine. Now this epinephrine is a stress hormone. When more and more of stress hormones are released in the body by the adrenal gland, then what happens? Then our immunity is suppressed. Our immunity is working normally when we are in a normal state without any stress. So stress releases such hormones in the body and creates a state of less immunity in the body. So we can attract viruses, bacteria, and become sick. Now the same amygdala structure within the limbic system, when it is deactivated, then it produces anxiolytic hormones. And what are those anxiolytic hormones? They are serotonin and dopamine. And they are happy hormones. These hormones create health within our system, the immunity increases and our resistance to bacteria and viruses decreases. We become more powerful, mentally powerful. So we find that the holistic health system has something to do about the relation of our mind and body, how our mind and body reacts. This is the science of biopsychology, advanced by Sri Ananda Murthy. Here we go back to those ancient wisdom, to that ancient wisdom of yoga and tantra, which we discussed earlier in the past, in earlier discussions. We know that our body, our mind, especially our spinal cord, has got certain psychic centers. These psychic centers are called chakras. Now, these chakras are actually the storehouse of energy. They are energy centers. And these chakras are directly related to our endocrine system. And endocrine system influences the chakras, and they get influence from the chakras. That means the chakras actually are the houses. They house all kinds of propensities or vrittis or our emotions, our expressions, our longings. They house them. They are the places. Now, each chakra has its own special propensities. And these propensities, as we go up, increase or decrease. Now, these propensities, when they are dependent on our sanskar, that means what we have inherited. When we are born as a human being, we have inherited this body and mind by virtue of our sanskaras. What are sanskaras? Sanskaras are actually reactive momenta. They are the actions which we performed in our previous lives, and those reactions which we were not able to serve, they remain in the form of potential reactions. And those reactions in potentialities are those sanskaras which we inherit when we are born as a human being. As a human baby, when we are born, then we have inherited those sanskaras. And those sanskaras are the propeller. They propel the propensities. The propensities which exist in our chakras. Now, as we explained in the past, earlier, that our 7 chakras have got 50 propensities, 50 vrittis. Like we know in the heart chakra, the heart chakra has got Asha, Chinta, Chesta, Mamata, Dambha, Vivek. Now these are the positive vrittis. So when somebody has got, when somebody's Asha vritti is predominant, then he is a happy person. His immune system is strong. His thymus gland is producing T lymphocytes, which are in excess quantity. So therefore, the whole body, whole mind is in a healthy state. So what we find, that like our heart chakra, which had got 12 vrittis, 12 propensities, and each of these propensity are directly related to our mind, and these propensities influence the body. So when we talk of holistic health, our health is directly connected to the state of our mind. And what we need for a good state of our mind, what do we need to ensure that our immunity is strong? For that we need the positive thinking. That means these vrittis which are there. Now the first 3 chakras, the Mooladhara chakra, That means at the lowermost bone of the spinal cord is the Mooladhara chakra. Then then when we go up behind our genital organ, then we have the Swadhisthana chakra. As we go up on the spinal cord centrally, then behind our navel we have got the Manipur Chakra. Now these first three chakras are actually having propensities which, if they are activated, then they weaken the system, because they have propensities like avagya, murcha, prashray, which means indulgence, vishad, kashay, now kruruta. Now similarly, we have lajja, pishunta, means a sadistic tendency. Then we have other vrittis like avishwas. We have got sarvanash. Then we have irsha. Then we have trishna, moh, ghrana, bhay. Now these vrittis are negative vrittis. So the Mooladhara chakra has 4 vrittis, the Swadhisthana chakra has 6 vrittis, and Manipur chakra has 10 vrittis. So 6, 10 and 4. So total 20 vrittis are negative vrittis, and they weaken our system. How can we make it strong? We can make it strong by proper exercises, which are asanas. If we take 2 right form of asanas, which are directly related to the 3 lower chakras, then we can control our physical discomfort. We can control our physical body in a manner so as to improve our immunity. Because by reducing or by deactivating these glands, that means the hormones which are connected, the glands which are connected to these chakras, we have to influence the hormonal secretion of these glands in a manner that these vrittis are deactivated. That means we have to ensure that the glands associated with Manipur chakra, the navel chakra, what are they? The adrenal gland, the pancreatic gland. They are associated with this. Now, if we can influence these pancreatic gland and the adrenal glands, then we are able to control the 10 vrittis which are there, 10 propensities, the weak propensities, like we talked about them, lajja, pishunta, then irsha, sushupti, vishad, kashay, trishna, ghrana, bhay, moh. So these vrittis are negative vrittis in our personality. And by controlling the pancreatic gland, the secretion of the pancreatic gland and the secretion of the adrenal gland through proper exercises. What are those proper exercises? The proper exercises which are recommended for controlling the Manipur chakra are the chakrasana. Then there are other exercises like we have halasana. Then there are mayurasana. These are the exercises, these are the asanas which directly influence the Manipur chakra. So somebody who practices these asanas will be able to keep these vrittis under control. Now what do the asanas do? The asanas actually pressurize or depressurize the glands. It also helps the gland by twisting the body. So either by depressurizing or pressurizing the gland, or by twisting the body, we are able to directly attack the chakra and the associated glands, and in turn we get control over the hormonal secretion of the related glands. So what do we find ultimately? That each of these chakras, which have got directly those propensities, and these propensities influence our health. These propensities influence our immune system. Now the immune system is primarily, as we talked about, it is in our some of certain organs and certain cells of the body, and the primary control system of the immune system, of the immunity in the body, is in the thymus gland, is in the heart center, is in the Ananda Chakra. Because in the Ananda Chakra, or in the thymus gland, the lymphatic system also exists. The controlling point of the lymphatic system, or lymphoid system as we call it, is there in the heart chakra or the Ananda Chakra. And Ananda Chakra has got 12 propensities. What are those propensities in the Ananda Chakra? Those propensities, as I talked about, are Asha, Chinta, Chesta, Mamta, Dambha, Vivek. Then we have Lolata, then we have Ahankar, then we have Kapatata, then we have Vitarka. Vitarka means argumentativeness. Then we have repentance. Then we have Anutap. So these vrittis, some of them are very, very positive vrittis, like Asha vritti. Now those people who have got strong hope, those people who have hope in their lives, are the happy people. And hope invigorates our immune system. Those who are hopeful, their immune system is strong. So what happens in case of those people who suffer from illnesses, especially those critical illnesses of these times, like the mental diseases, the Alzheimer's, the Parkinson's, and then the cancer, the AIDS? These diseases are directly related to people who suffer from hopelessness. That means a vritti which is there at the center of our heart chakra or Ananda Chakra. And the gland which controls the immune system is the thymus gland, by producing thymosin, which in turn produces T lymphocytes, which are the immune cells. So as the Asha vritti, or the hope, increases in the mind, as the man becomes more hopeful of everything in life, then those people are able to produce more T lymphocytes. T lymphocyte means a lymphocyte produced from thymus gland. T stands for that. So T lymphocyte is the immune cell. And as a result of increased production of T lymphocytes, our immunity is increased, and we can get rid of the diseases that we suffer. So the concept of holistic health is derived from this. So biopsychology is the fundamental science which teaches us how we can control our body's health. It is not physical health alone, as we discussed, that the PNI, the Psycho Neuro Immunology, this new science, which is being now researched by medical science increasingly. Now, what does that science tell us? That the CNS, the central nervous system, which comprises of what? The brain's neurons and the nerve cells of the spinal cord. So that means our mind talks to the immune system, our brain speaks to the brain immune system. And if we are able to keep our brain healthy and happy, how does that happen? That happens by the proper control of our Agya Chakra. The Agya Chakra has got pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is the primary control, the master gland. Now this pituitary gland in turn is supported by hypothalamus. It is supported by the limbic system and the cerebral cortex. Now these three together support the pituitary. And pituitary in turn is able to produce those 4 happy hormones, the serotonin, the dopamine, and also the endorphins, and then oxytocin. Now this oxytocin is a very typical special hormone which has generated a lot of interest amongst the medical geniuses, researchers, because this particular oxytocin hormone is such, all these 4 hormones are happy hormones because they keep you happy, they keep you hopeful, they keep you powerfully strong enough to fight any situation. And as a result of this, the immunity increases. So what does this oxytocin has generated interest among the medical researchers is that the secretion of oxytocin hormone increases the feeling of happiness. It increases the feeling of love. It attracts, it generates a feeling of attraction for people, for others. It creates a feeling of trust, generosity. So it generates good feelings in the mind. When our mind is full of good feelings, that means our Ananda Chakra is able to express its positive propensities, like we discussed. Then, and keep those negative propensities which are there in the Ananda Chakra under control. Now, how does that happen? That happens by the control, by the action of the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is able to control these propensities. But as I told you, each man is unique in terms of its structure. Its structure which comprises of these propensities. So the sanskara is the originator of the propensity load that is there in our 7 chakras. So depending upon somebody's sanskara, there is expression of different vrittis. Something is more expressed, something is less expressed. Now, this is the state of affairs with which we are born. But is our future sealed? No. This is where the biopsychology, the science of biopsychology comes in and teaches us that we can alter our future. We can build as we wish. And how do we do that? Because the scheme of things, that means the manner in which we have to attack the human personality towards development, and that system is called Rajadhiraj Yoga. This is the system of Tantra. This is the system of Yoga Sadhana, which is advanced by Sri Shriyananda Murthy ji. Now this system of sadhana teaches us in a very, very scientific and rational manner how we can influence the negativity of the propensities which are carried forward. This is the balance that has been carried forward from our past samskara. So we can attack that. How do we attack that? By taking a 3-pronged approach: the physical, the psychic, and the spiritual approach. Now, this is where we come to what we are going to discuss now as the psychic pabulum. What is the meaning of pabulum? Pabulum is a English word, and it is derived from a Latin root, which means an object of enjoyment. Its Sanskrit equivalent of pabulum is abhog. Now, Anand Murthy ji has actually developed a formula for bringing about what is the etymological root of any particular word. So if we talk of abhog, then it has got a prefix a. Then when a prefix is there, then the dhatu or the verb ending is to be connected to it through a negative sign. So a is the prefix, bhunj is the dhatu or the verb ending, and then there is a suffix added plus ghain. Now a means towards, bhunj means object, and ghain makes it a verbal noun. So the abhog word means, or the pabulum means, an object of enjoyment. Now how do we relate it to what is when we are discussing the subject of psychic pabulum? Now normally our mind is engaged with some object of enjoyment or the other. This is human nature. Our mind is never empty. It is full of ideas, it's full of things. Now, when the object of our mind is something physical, then we tend towards psychophysical transformation. That means our mind is crudified if we keep thinking of something physical, something material. But if our mind, if our ideas are noble ideas, if our ideas are about generosity, about helping others, then what happens? Then our mind takes a psychic object as its object of contemplation. So then our mind becomes more psychic. There is the regeneration and recharging of our mind. Now, further, as we grow and understand the fundamentals of our life, then we realize that we are not only physical beings, but we are more of psychic beings. And not only that we are psychic beings, we are more of psycho-spiritual beings and more of spiritual beings. So slowly we transform our personality from a physical being, which is full of weaknesses, to a psychic being which has got potentiality to express, to a psycho-spiritual personality which is more magnanimous, which is more open, जो बहुत अधिक उदार है, जो सबको अपने अंदर ले लेती है, to a spiritual personality which is pure personality, which does not distinguish between man and man, which does not distinguish between man and animal, which does not distinguish between man and inanimate being. Because to a spiritual person, everything is a member of the great family, the great cosmic family. So all of us are members of this great cosmic family. And we have come to this world only to realize that truth, that we are the members of one great cosmic family. We are all related to each other, strongly related, because our progenitor is one and the same. And that cosmic consciousness, who is our progenitor? It is the attraction between us that our psychic pabulum is transformed into psycho-spiritual pabulum. When our mind is attracted towards that cosmic consciousness, then our personality is transformed. Our psychic being, our physical being becomes physico-psychic, and psychic beings becomes psycho-spiritual, and more psycho-spiritual being transform into spiritual being. So our psychic pabulum is transformed into spirituality, into consciousness. Then when a person becomes consciousness, then all the chakras from Mooladhara to Sahasrar. And the propensities which live there in each of those chakras come under control by virtue of the glands which are associated with that. For instance, the Mooladhara chakra has got the sex glands, the testes and ovaries. The sacral, the Swadhisthana chakra and Mooladhara chakra are basically negative chakras. Now, but they are essential for the physical well-being of the human being. Now, as we rise up to the Manipur Chakra, then we have the adrenal and the pancreatic gland. When we come to the Anahat Chakra, we have got the thymus gland. When we come to the Vishuddha Chakra, we have got the thyroid and the parathyroid glands. And when we go up to the Agya Chakra, we have got the Pituitary Gland, which is the master gland. And then when we come to the Sahasrara Chakra, we have the pineal gland, because pineal gland is the controller of the whole human structure, mind. So by virtue of our spiritual practice, that means proper physical practice, followed by proper mental practices, psychic practices, that means noble thinking, getting into good company of people, always thinking of the great, of helping others. Then we go into the spiritual aspect, the psycho-spiritual aspect, the practical aspect of yoga sadhana and tantra. And when we get into that aspect, then what happens? Then we understand that our human personality, our whole personality is what? It is a part of that cycles and rhythms of our body. So let us understand our own personality, the entity that we are. So our entity is actually a part of cycles and rhythms, which are actually the biorhythms. And our internal involuntary system, like the digestion, the metabolism, the excretion, the heart pumping, and then all other similar involuntary functions, these metabolism are called diurnal rhythms. So all this combined into our biorhythm. This biorhythm has to then keep in pace with our psychic rhythm. When there is parallelism between the vibrational expressions of our biorhythm and our psychic rhythm, then a personality is projected, a personality is created, which is our antitative rhythm. Each one of us has got an antitative rhythm. This antitative rhythm has to advance. When we have to take to spiritual practice, then what do? We try to merge this antitative rhythm with the help of the mantra, with the incantation of the mantra, with the japakriya of the mantra, and mantra chaitanya, that means thinking of the idea behind the mantra. Our mantra is not helpful to us until we take the ideation of the mantra also. So we do the japakriya, we do the ideation, and our antitative rhythm advances, taking the help of the incantative waves or incantative rhythm of the mantra. And in this manner when we advance, इस तरह से जब हम लोग आगे बढ़ते हैं तो क्या होता है, हमारी जो पूरी सत्ता है, हमारा जो अस्तित्व है, वो मंत्र की भावना के अनुरूप रूपांतरित हो जाता है. It is transformed into a new personality. And what is that new personality? What is the ideation behind the mantra? The ideation behind the mantra is that we are cosmic consciousness. We are not merely a tiny person, a small weak person. We are cosmic consciousness, which is behind everything, which is omnipotent, which is omnipresent and omniscient, which is everywhere, always there. So our antitative rhythm advances. Now our antitative rhythm finds ए डिस्टर्बेंस, उसको एक रास्ते में रोड़ा, उसके रास्ते में एक ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन मिलता है। ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन क्या है? हमारे संस्कारों का ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन। बिकॉज हमारे संस्कार जो अनसर्व्ड संस्कार हैं, उनके कारण हम अपनी एंटिटेटिव रिदम को कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस के साथ, परम चैतन्य सत्ता के साथ एकाकार नहीं कर पाते हैं। हमें लगातार वो डिस्टर्ब कर देती है, वापस ले आती है, बिकॉज वो अनसर्व्ड हैं, वो रिएक्शंस अभी अनसर्व्ड हैं। दोज रिएक्शंस इन पोटेंशियलिटी, द पोटेंशियल फॉर्म में वो अनसर्व्ड रिएक्शंस को जब तक हम सर्व नहीं कर लेते हैं, हमारी एंटिटेटिव रिदम कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस के साथ एडवांस नहीं कर सकती है। नाउ बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ द कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस which is expressed through our guru, so the guru, the paratpar guru, the param guru, with the help of the param guru, by the grace of param guru, what happens then? We are able to advance quickly. What happens by virtue of his grace? Our entitative rhythm strikes the pineal gland. Now when this happens, जब हमारा अस्तित्व, हमारी अस्तित्व की वाइब्रेशन, हमारी अस्तित्व की जो तरंगे हैं, वो पिनियल ग्लैंड माने कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस के साथ स्ट्राइक करती हैं, तब क्या हो जाता है? हमारा मन जो है एपेक्स्ड हो जाता है, पिनेकल्ड हो जाता है, पिन पॉइंटेड हो जाता है। इट बिकम्स पॉइंटेड, इट बिकम्स फोकस्ड ऑन द कॉन्शियसनेस। द स्टेट, एक ऐसी स्थिति जिसमें हमारा मन कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस के साथ एकाकार हो जाता है। उस स्थिति में जो हमारा जो मन है, हमारा जो माइंड है, वो क्या हो जाता है? इट लूजेज इटसेल्फ इनटू द इनफाइनाइट ओशन ऑफ कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस। ये जो स्थिति है, इसे ही हम लोग एपेक्स्ड माइंड कहते हैं, एपेक्स्ड इंटेलेक्ट कहते हैं। दिस इज द गोल ऑफ ह्यूमन लाइफ। यही हमारे जीवन का एकमात्र ध्येय है। इसी लक्ष्य को पाने के लिए हम लोगों को ये मनुष्य शरीर मिला है, और गुरु की कृपा से, परात्पर गुरु, परम गुरु की कृपा से हम लोग इसी जीवन में अपने लक्ष्य का संधान कर सकते हैं और अपने मन को एपेक्स्ड बना सकते हैं, अपने मन को अग्रया बना सकते हैं। अग्रया बुद्धि को प्राप्त करने का यही एकमात्र तरीका है। हमें अपनी एंटिटेटिव रिदम को कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस में मर्ज कर देना है। इस कॉस्मिक कॉन्शियसनेस की मर्जर के लिए हमारी तैयारी ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। When we are ready for this merger, the help, the grace of Guru follows. It comes to us. We don't have to ask for it. हमें पूछना नहीं है, मांगना नहीं है, वो अपने आप ही उस स्थिति में हमें प्राप्त होती है और हम अपने लक्ष्य को पा लेते हैं। नमस्कार।